being mindful of our healthful living as well. So I'd love to introduce Anthony Spark to the front to speak to us tonight as well.
Thank you, guys. I'm guilty of speaking quickly at the best of times, but I'm going to fly through this because I've got way too much to talk about and way too short a time to talk about it. So I'm going to rip through health and fitness, exercise and nutrition at lightning speed. So I think we all know in a cerebral sense that exercise and great nutrition makes us better in every area of our life. So certainly as business people, we are sharper and smarter when we're exercising and we're eating great nutrition. But we're also better partners, we're better role models, we're better parents, we're better friends, we're better daughters. We are better in every area because we have that bit more energy, that bit more oomph, that bit more rah-rah that other people find so appealing, and we just feel awesome about it ourselves. So I come from the fitness industry, which is not something I'm necessarily super proud of, because the fitness industry has done a lot of work in the area of exercise, not so much in nutrition, and a lot of the outcome that people look for in exercise is a look. And that look can be really unhealthy if we choose for it to be. I have a lot of friends of mine who compete in body shaping competitions. My girlfriend has done 4 bodybuilding comps, and leading up to comp preparation, you starve yourself. There's nothing healthy about that. You are freaking starving. I had a great mate of mine that I worked with last year who did his first comp, and the 4 weeks leading up to his comp, he was as angry as a man gets. This is a guy who never gets angry. But the poor guy's starving. He hadn't had a carbohydrate in a month, and it was killing him. So let me go back a step. I started in the fitness industry in the last millennium. I'm there with my long hair and my lycra tights on, and I'm great flying all over the place, and I'm changing people's lives, I'm doing all sorts of funky stuff. And I loved it. I sold, because back in those days we did everything. We were gym instructors, we were aerobic instructors, I was doing membership sales, I was doing everything. I'm changing people's lives. People are getting fit and healthy and they're committed, and I'm like a rock star, I'm just doing it. And then this thing came along called personal training. This is before there was a course for personal training. And so, of course, someone said to me one day, "Hey, Anthony, would you train me?" And I went, "What, like a personal trainer?" "Yes, like a personal trainer, that'd be awesome." So then all of a sudden I've got a PT business. And then I've got people who are PTs who work for me in my PT business. And we are training, literally, in the next 12 years, thousands of people changing their life. They're changing shape, they're all full of energy, they're rah-rah. And I'm thinking to myself, this is great. Not just because I'm doing what I love to do, but at that time, the statistics were 12% of the population were a member of a health club, and 7% of the population, give or take, were playing sport of some sort. So about 19% of the population were exercising on a regular basis. So I'm entrepreneurial, even at that young age, because clearly I'm very, very young. I work for a company right now called Young and Wildly Successful. I've got them totally fooled. So at this very young, chipper age, I'm going, 81% of the population don't exercise on a regular basis. And back in those days, it was all about exercise. We couldn't care less about nutrition. We were still following the 5 food pyramid things that the government sells to us. So I'm changing people's lives, thinking I've got 81% of the population to convert. I'm like an evangelical Christian, bringing the sinners to salvation, selling them the good drugs, which is exercise and great nutrition, and I'm like a rock star because I'm doing all this stuff. So 12 years into my personal training career, I'm looking for what's next, how can I influence more people? So I bought into a registered training organisation, which meant I could train personal trainers. And over the next 12 years, I trained thousands of personal trainers to train thousands of people to change their life, to become, this wonderful, healthy nation that I had this dream of. That was 25 years ago that I started. What do you reckon the statistics are of people who exercise on a regular basis? It's the same. The fitness industry has sadly only made fit people fitter. We haven't actually had any impact on people in terms of we haven't got the nation exercising and eating great food on a regular basis. So unfortunately, the fitness industry is not the answer. At no stage in history has there been more information freely available to us about exercise and great nutrition. And yet, for some reason, we still have a percentage of the population at 63% who are overweight or obese. And that's unacceptable. Just from a health perspective, I don't care what your body shape is, that's not of interest to me. I care about how long you've been on the planet for, whether you're going to die of a preventable disease, and how much you enjoy your time while you're on the planet. So it's very much from a health perspective rather than the body beautiful stuff that I come from. I just think it feels better. So the fitness industry doesn't have the answer, and information is not the answer. What is the answer to getting more people moving and eating great food on a regular basis? Can anyone help me out? Yeah, maybe. Your hair?
Mindset.
Possibly. I reckon it could be habits. I reckon we just have a bunch of shit habits. We have a bunch of habits that don't serve us. We have a bunch of habits that tells us to sit on our backside and not get up and do things. We have a bunch of habits that we're being sold to reward ourselves with chocolates. We arranged that earlier. I asked us to sit there to bring chocolates. And the reality is, there's nothing wrong with having a chocolate. What the problem is when that one chocolate becomes a packet. That's where the issue is. So if we're looking at habits as the problem, habits is also the solution. Because as soon as we find the problem, we can figure out, okay, what's the solution? The problem with habits is you can't just dump an old habit. Habits are with you to stay, they're wired into your brain. All we need to do is rewire it a little bit. So there's 3 steps to creating what we call the habit loop. The first step is a stimulus, it's a trigger, it's a cue. It's something that makes you go and do something. The end of it is a reward. We get something from the habits. When we have a chocolate, we feel kind of good, right? It's kind of nice, it's sweet, it's nice, and we feel a bit chipper about it all. In the middle, there's a routine, and that's what we do to bring about the reward. So let me give you an example of a client that I worked with recently, and she engaged me to do productivity on her business. So we were chatting away about things, and it came up in the conversation that she doesn't feel like she's getting as much out of her business as she could do for the time that she puts into it. So we went through sort of what she does during her day and that sort of thing, and something came up in the conversation where she has a habit of stopping work and eating biscuits. Tim Tams, who can blame it? They're Tim Tams, they're irresistible. But there's always a trigger before the Tim Tam is consumed. So we drilled in a little bit, and the trigger is generally, in that situation, it's I'm bored, I'm a bit flat, or I'm avoiding making a call, or I'm avoiding following up, or I'm avoiding doing something that I know I need to do for the business, but I don't do it. And so her trigger was one of those things. I won't go into too much detail with it. So she goes through a routine of eating a Tim Tam, delicious, and gets the reward. She feels good, but she's also distracted for a moment. That's another part of the reward. We can't override that habit. All we can do is tweak an element of the habit to make it serve her rather than be detrimental for her. So what we did was we kept the trigger, we kept the reward, and instead of eating a Tim Tam, we had her do 10 bodyweight squats. Can everyone stand up, please? Stand up, stand up, stand up. All I want you to do is as comfortable as you are, pretend you're going to sit down in your seat and stand up again. 10 times, do 10 of these. While you're doing it, smile. And here's what's going to happen. This is great for you. This is the best thing that you've done all night. You know why? Blood flow to your brain. Energy gets up and about. When you get out of that chair, when you're done your 10, sit down by all means. How those high heels. This is toning your butt when you're at work. You're at home doing your work and you're toning your bum. You're boosting your metabolism. You're burning more calories at rest from doing this. And you know what? You're all smiling. Have fun. Maybe a little bit of perspiration as well, but that's okay. All we've done is we've chosen a different routine and we're going to feed off the same habit loop. If we do that enough, that becomes the new ritual. Because a habit is a 21-day thing that we build up. A ritual is something that you spend 68 days to develop. So really 10 weeks to get into a ritual. A ritual is the difference between doing something like going to the gym once and doing something like brushing your teeth. You do it every day. You don't think about it. It's who you are. And you know what happens if you miss a day brushing your teeth? That's not pleasant. But you don't give up on brushing your teeth, do you? Someone skips the gym one day, they don't go back. They say, no, I'll skip the gym for the day. I'll never do it again. So one of the keys for you, the reason I'm here is because I want you to do what the fitness industry hasn't done. I want you, using the products that you have, using the networks that you build, to change people's habits to habits that serve them rather than are detrimental for them. Because the fitness industry has failed. Information doesn't work. What might work is you guys changing people's habits. Everyone in this room has more than one role in their life. You are business owners, right? What's another role that you fulfill in your life?
Mom.
A mum. What else? Partner. Partner, wife. We're going to put those two together. Sorry? A lawn. And a teacher. All right. So there's 5. What I'm going to suggest you need to do is come up with a reason for each of those roles that you have why exercise and great nutrition is a non-negotiable. As a business owner, to be very simple about it, you are sharper, smarter, more effective at work, more productive. From a productivity point of view, if you exercise and eat well, you are 79% more likely to be present whilst you're at work. 79% more likely to be present. Presenteeism is a measure the World Health Organization uses for productivity. So 20 years ago, it was about absenteeism. How many days are you off from work? If you're not exercising and eating great food, you are 36% more likely to take a day off than someone who eats well. But if you want to be present in your business, which means you're effective in your business, you need to exercise on a daily basis. You need to have great nutrition. That's what makes you effective. That's just for business. What about you as the partner or the lover, or you as the friend, or you as the sister, or you as that person? You come up with 5 reasons under each of those roles as why exercise and great nutrition is a non-negotiable, and you'll do it without even thinking. You come up with 10, and it's done for the rest of your life. It's about having enough reasons to support why you need to do this. And you seriously rewire your brain. You change the way you think. The relationship that you have with food and the relationship you have with exercise changes, because that's just who you are. So, you've had a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. You've been inspired to change 1 million lives this year. I totally support you in your challenge. I think that is an absolutely inspirational outcome that you're striving for, and I would love for Habit Change to be part of the package. Thanks for having me. My name's Anthony Spark. Grab your phone, look me up on Facebook, send me a friend request. I work for a professional development company called Young and Wildly Successful, which makes me giggle every time I say it. We're running an event on the 21st of this month. It's the Breakthrough to Success. We talk about health, wealth and mindset and the elements required to integrate those things into your life. It is fantastic for small business owners, because small business owners, effectively everything you do for your personal development affects your business development. So if you want to come along, it's $21 for 3 hours. My boss is coming from Perth. He's 26 years old. He's amazing.
Is it a young fellow?
Yes, he's a baby. But he's been doing this professional development thing for 10 years. And he's an amazing speaker, an inspiring young man, and extraordinary. He runs a business which is global now. He's gone overseas and just doing outstanding things in the industry. So if you're available and you want to invest in yourself, time and money, it's $21, so the money's not a big deal. The time is, it's 3 hours out of your life. We're in the city on the 21st. It's the 21st of this month, so Tuesday, February, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. If we can get the
I can send the link out to managers and then you can share it with your
Otherwise, Anthony Spark, I'm a long-haired bloke sitting on the beach next to a sign saying the beach is closed because sharks. Thanks for having me.